sports, movement, yoga, Paida, stretching, foam rolling, and element of water, Kalaripayattu. Yeah, so the intention is spoken, and now let's roll. Alright, now today I was foam rolling since a long time, and I really feel the benefits of it. Now, when I was foam rolling in the past, I wasn't into fasting, and I wasn't into this deep esoteric knowledge that I gained right now. But let me tell you this. Now, if we look at exercises, if we look at sports, which are ports for a Kundalini, for a snake, for a power or inner chi, for inner chi, we see and observe and feel that foam rolling is putting pressure on our tissue. Now, actually, the body is made out of, I don't know how many percentage water, but the main part is water. Let it be 60, 70, 80, 90, 95%. Now, if we look into esoteric knowledge, it's also light. So we should be aware of light and water we ingest into our bodies through our portals. Now, foam rolling pushes water through our body, and foam rolling now imagine if you have like a glass of water. Now what can you do with it? You can hit the water, which would be Paida. Slap it like this. You slap yourself, and you create a sound and frequency and vibration, and through this you organize the water, and you push the water through the tube, through the river. Now, this is what Paida does. If you do foam rolling, you do something like this. You push the water through the river, like a massage actually. You massage yourself. Now, stretching is a bit different. Can you stretch water? I don't know. Educate me if I don't know that. So, can you stretch water? I don't think so. I don't think you can stretch actually water particles. You can organize it with sounds, frequencies, vibrations, and intentions. You can hit it. So by hitting the water, you also structure it, which would be martial arts and avatar, like the master of the elements. But I don't think you can actually stretch the water particle. You can push it through something, but you can't stretch it. Now, what you can stretch is the tube where the water is flowing through. You can stretch the river. And this would be your tubes. This would be your vessel, which you stretch. So now you open up your channels. You make the channel bigger, or longer, and now the water can flow through that easier. But directly, I don't think you can stretch water. So this is why I would say always come from the standpoint first, where you just work with your own body, what you already have. And this would be, you come to this place naked. So what you do, you can do Paida with your own hands, create with your own hands. Now organize your water, use language and intention. Now use cymatics, get into gongs, get into, I told you this before, Falun Dafa, Falun Gong. You work with cymatics, you work with the intention of truthfulness, compassion and tolerance. Qi is inner Qi. Now it's the imagination of yourself, what energy actually is. And now then we can look into other concepts. For example, like massage, you can do that by yourself or with other people. Now you can massage yourself, or you can even use external objects, which would be a foam roller, for example. You can also use bands, like in mobility world, Starrett, look that up, Voodoo flossing. This is all very, very good stuff. Now, all right. Now this is how we can organize and push the water through the river in a better way. Now jump to the movement quality or the movement exercise. Now, the thing is that we as a species try to isolate things in order to better understand them. But the problem is that we do not use it as a whole. We do not use it with the concept of oneness. We use it with the splitting up of the atom, the duality. But there is actually no duality. If you look at yin and yang, it's a whole concept. It's both black and white. So it's not dual, it's one. And if we look into movement and exercise, this should be the same approach. Now the approach will be, in the past when bodybuilding was coming up, we isolate exercise. For example, the bicep curl. Now you can make out of an isolated movement a whole body exercise, because if you do a bicep curl and you are very mindful, you are aware of how do you stand, how do you breathe. But see, this is not the point over here. The point is that you isolate a single movement. Now then we can look into, for example, from isolated movements into compound movements, which would be pull-ups. For example, it works your biceps also. But also this is an isolated movement for the upper body. Now, all right, we can get into combined movements. For example, the muscle up, which would be the pull up and a dip. Now we have a lot more muscular, but it's basically only our upper body. Sure, we can use momentum from our whole body, and we can always make out of this movement, for example, a whole body exercise, right? But the point is that you should move your body as a whole. Now, okay, the next step would be from an isolated motion to a compound motion to a combined motion. For this could also be like the deadlift and the clean, and then the clean and jerk. Now, then the next exercise would be the dropping of the bar. So from the clean and jerk, you drop the bar. So this would be a whole circle, right? Now, an exercise which is out of martial arts would be like you raise your arm to up from down here, up and down here again. And then you use your knee chakra to use that momentum. And see, this is not fixed to an equipment. This is because your body is always the equipped mind. And then you use the power which is already inside of yourself. And this would be the concept of flow, the concept of flow movement. And you don't need anything for this, you just flow with it. Because now this would be yoga, which is basically not the westernized version of it, where you go and you do yoga, because yoga means the whole. Right now I'm doing yoga. Everything is yoga. Everything is movement, because everything is mind. And everything is imagination, because I see only a reflection of myself in front of me. And this has something to do with the ability of how clean are my portals, how clean are my senses. Do I clean myself with a real degree of sanity? See, and there's already a harmonious frequency to it, because it's a rhyme. All right. And now, how can I do this? I use what I have already inside of me, because I come here naked, but I have the solution always inside of me. What is that? Well, you know that if you are following me for a long time, that's your urine, brothers and sisters. And well, it has nothing to do with telling I'm better than you. No, definitely not. See, I told you this in the very first video that I dropped. If we are on a flat surface and everybody is an erected spine, everybody is walking in here, and everybody has their own tower of knowledge and gnosis, which would be your spine. Now, your spine is the tower, and on top of it sits your spark, your light, your gnosis, your knowledge, which is water, like I told you, and the sun. All right? This is Mem and Ori. Now, and then there you have it. So this is the concept of flow. Like I told you, Cymatics, Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi, which has basically, like, I would say, the flow concept has only something to do with water. Only something to do with the amount of water that you take in, because water cleans everything. And water is the carrier of your lights and of your memory. And of other concepts, like, for example, power, speed, flexibility, which is just imagination. Of course, now your vessel, your spark and arc is kind of fixed in a linear pattern because of your bone structure and your muscle system and your tendons, but you can work with your own substance and your own solution, which is urine, to become more flexible. To become more, you could also ingest the more room, the mushroom. And then you suddenly open up your left and your right hemisphere, and you realize it's not dual, it's one, and you get this holy shine on it, which is what? A circle, because it's connected, interconnected. Get into the research of Psilocybin. Now you see that Psilocybin lets your brain interact with different areas. Now, areas are auras, because your aura is your area, and your area, which is around me, is my aura that I emit through my spark, through my light, which I have inside of my skull. And area, aura is Ra, is R. What is R? The single-eyed pirate. Now, this is light, Ra, the sun god, which is an own consciousness, and this consciousness is giving you your gnosis and knowledge. So use the intention of whatever you would like to see in this water realm. Flow through your area, emit your aura, emit your intentions, and do God stuff. and don't stuff your face too much. And if you do that, you should clean and fast. Ingest your own solution into your portals. Flow through the everlasting concept of mind. This is it. Because you already know the fucking concept and solution, which you carry inside of you. Peace, y'all.